Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Gym Philosophy in the Morning. I'm the Gym Philosopher. Today we have some homebrew monsters to react to. These monsters were all created by members of the GM Philosophy community Discord. Link is in the description. You should join us. We run contests every single month. Shout out to the great counselors who put this on. John Haney, assisted by Dirty Socks, Avery Juno, JW, and many others, and all the awesome artists and creators who created this. We create all kinds of homebrew stuff in the GM Philosophy Discord, and the contest for this month was Homebrew Monsters. Now keep in mind, there's a limit, 1 page. So everything had to be on 1 page. That means like stat block, if there's story, whatever. So that's why there's not like multiple pages. All the entries have this uniformity of being 1 page. That was the limit. With that being said, Flana Gamer did spend a bit of time fleshing out some separate artwork for some of the pieces because this was actually a no AI contest. So no AI was used in the making of these creations. Everything was, written by hand, no AI used. And then when I say written by hand, I don't mean literally by hand, but like everything was written, human creation, and all of the images, all of that was human created. So no AI generated monster images were used. Okay, so this is very interesting. We do these contests sometimes where there's no AI use, and so it's all human creation. So it's very cool. In the GM Philosophy community, there's a lot of people who really care a lot about that. And so this is super fun, super cool. We're going to react to these. And if you want to use any of these in your game, links in the description to the GM Philosophy Discord. The only way to get these PDF downloads is by going into the Discord, going to the contest archive channel, and you can grab all the PDFs for free. Boom. We also have a whole bunch of creations from previous contests there, so you can grab those if you would like to as well. It's just a resource that keeps building up in the community. All kinds of awesome homebrew stuff people can use for their games. All right, with that being said, we're going to dive into the award-winning entry. The award-winning entry was The Widow by Hylian Sword. Great job, Hylian Sword. Congratulations on the win in the contest. Medium Fiend, Shapeshifter, Chaotic Evil, Armor Class 20, Natural Armor, Hit Points 170, Speed 30 feet, Climb 30 feet. Heck yeah. I think people often underestimate how valuable and cool having a climb speed is. You can literally climb at the same rate. You can climb at your climb speed, which is quite an advantage for a monster to have. Strength 14, Dex 18, Con 16, Intelligence 16, Wisdom 14, Charisma 18. Okay, all right, cool. So not like, overly super intelligent, but very wise, like a sentient humanoid would be. All right, saving throws. Con 6, Wisdom 5, Charisma 7. Nice. Skills, Deception at 7, Insight at 5, Perception at 5, Stealth 7. Damage resistances, Necrotic, Psychic, Bludgeoning, Piercing, and Slashing from non-magical attacks. Okay, so a little hard to kill. I like it. Damage immunities, Poison. Ooh, nice. Condition immunities. Can't be charmed, frightened, poisoned. Nice. Senses, Dark Vision, 120 feet. Tremor Sense, 30 feet. Passive Perception, 15. Languages, Abyssal, Infernal, Telepathy, 60 feet. Challenge 8. All right, now let's look at the Shadowling here. Large Beast, Unaligned, Armor Class 16. So there must be a couple different elements to this. We'll see when we start reading about it. Hit points 30, speed 30, strength 14, dex 16, con 14, intelligence 2. Oh, so this is like, okay, this is literally a beast. This is a different creature. Wisdom 12, charisma 4. Skills, perception 3, stealth 5. Damage resistance is psychic. Damage immunity is poison. Okay, poison isn't going to work on anything here. Senses, blind sight 10 feet, dark vision 60 feet, tremor sense 10 feet, passive perception 13. Languages, telepathy 60 feet, challenge rating 2. Spider climb. The spider can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down and ceilings. Nice. Without needing to make an ability check. Web sense. While in contact with a web, the spider knows the exact location of any other creature in contact with the same web. Web walker. The spider ignores movement restrictions caused by webbing. Mind link. The shadowling acts on the widow's initiative. It may move up to 10 feet as a reaction when the widow triggers spider kin. Nice. It may attack immediately if spider kin allows a reaction-based attack. Okay. Actions. We have a bite. Melee weapon attack, plus 5 to hit. Reach, 5 foot, 1 creature. Hit, 9, 2d6 plus 2. Piercing damage, plus 7, 2d6 poison damage. And makes a DC 11 con saving throw, or the target is poisoned for 1 minute. The target may repeat the save at the end of its turn, ending the condition on a success. Okay, and then it has a web, recharge 5-6. Ranged weapon attack. It can shoot web, plus 5 to hit. Range 30-60 feet. 1 creature. Hit, the target is restrained by webbing. As an action, the restrained target can make a DC 11 strength check, bursting the webbing on a success. All right, let's move to the top of the page here. Shifting Veil. Well, not in its true form. Attack rolls against the widow have disadvantage until it takes damage or casts a spell. The veil drops when it attacks or casts a spell. Interesting. So is this... I think that this is a continuation of the Widow, and then the Shadowling is down here, is what I think is going on. So I think when I'm reading Shifting Veil, that's actually the Widow, not the Shadowling. That would make sense. Okay. So I kind of missed this. I was reading it in the wrong order. But I do think that there's artwork for this. Let me go find it. Yeah, here we go. So here's artwork that Flanagan made for this, the Widow. Very cool. So this gives you kind of an idea of what it looks like. We still haven't heard the lore yet, but we're going to get to that. All right, let's go back and talk about this. Celestial Bane. The Widow has advantage on saving throws against features or spells used by Celestials. Oh, interesting. Whenever it would take radiant damage, it instead gains temporary hit points equal to half of the radiant damage it would be dealt. Wow. So, actually, you do not want radiant damage used here. This is a creature you don't want your paladins to fight, really, because it's just going to make it stronger. Interesting. Legendary ability, Phase of Revelation. True form triggered by being at less than 85 hit points. Oh yeah, it's bloodied. We got bloodied. Immediately uses memory drain. Okay. Oh, and here's its abilities here. I see. Okay. So we haven't gotten. Gains 20 temporary hit points. Each enemy within 30 feet must succeed on a DC 16 Wisdom save or become frightened until the end of their next turn. Claw damage increases to 2d10 plus slashing plus 2d6 psychic. Shifting Veil ends, but it gains true sight. 60 feet. Okay. So, Shifting Veil, while not in its true form, attack rolls against the Widow have a disadvantage until it takes damage or casts a spell. The Veil drops when it attacks or casts a spell. But I'm not sure what the Veil actually does. I think we're going to find out when we read a bit further ahead. All right, actions. The Widow makes 2 attacks, 1 Claw and 1 Mind Pierce. Claw, true form, melee weapon attack plus 7 to hit, reach 5 foot, 1 target. Makes sense. Mind Pierce, range spell attack, plus 8 to hit, range 60 feet, 1 target. Makes sense. Memory Drain, recharge 5/6. The Widow targets 1 creature can see within 30 feet. The target must make a DC 16 intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 68 psychic damage. This is pretty powerful. The Widow regains 15 hit points. Oh, wow. Additionally, the target forgets something significant. Name spells or events, DM's choice. Oh, forgetting your spells would be so bad. A creature reduced to 0 hit points by this ability loses all memory of the last 24 hours, which can only be restored via Greater Restoration or the Wish spell. Nice. I like that. I think that's awesome. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage and suffers no memory loss. Okay. Still half damage. Not gonna lie, this would be a pretty powerful enemy for a lower level party. Like if you have a group of let's say level 2, like 4 or 5 level 2 characters, with these 2 creatures combined, actually pretty dangerous. Although the Shadowling only has 30 hit points, and then the Widow. The thing is it's got quite a few healing abilities, which I like, and that would make it more dangerous for long term. But I think by the time you get to level 3, level 4, your players will start to really beat up on it. Another thing to consider is that it does have damage resistance to bludgeoning and piercing non-magical, or rather I should say bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. So that would make it even more dangerous for a lower level party. But I think that a party, once they reach level 3, they could probably contend with this pretty well, and anything above that would probably beat this creature up pretty bad. That's what I'm envisioning the power level to be, because usually player characters are really creative in how they fight monsters. They do all kinds of shenanigans. They end up going a lot further than you would imagine. All right, so let's continue here. Domination Pulse, 3 times a day. The Widow projects a psychic wave at a point it can see within 60 feet. Each creature of its choice within a 30-foot radius must make a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw or be charmed for 1 minute. While charmed in this way, a creature regards the Widow as its most trusted ally and will follow its commands. The creature may repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. Ooh. The creature may repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, thus ending the effect on a success. That makes it very dangerous. Actually, that kind of changes things. A level 2 party is going to have a really hard time with this creature. Level 3, if it turns one of them, it's going to be difficult. All right, Web of Obedience, twice a day. The Widow releases a psychic signal linking all Shadowlings within 120 feet. For 1 minute, all Shadowlings under its control gain +2 to attack rolls and advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. The Widow can issue a single telepathic command to all linked Shadowlings as a bonus action each round. All right, reactions. Spiderkin. Once per round, when the Widow takes damage from a creature within 30 feet, one allied Shadowling within 10 feet of that creature may move and take a single melee attack against it. A Shadowling that attacks this way can't use a reaction again until the service next turn. Okay. One thing I am wondering is how many Shadowlings does she make? How fast does she make them? I'm wondering about that, actually. Let's see here. I'm not sure that it says, unless I'm just missing it. I may have read right over it, but I don't see anything saying how many she can have or how she summons them. I guess I would think maybe she can summon one every turn if she's fighting a higher level party, or maybe she just has two of them with her if she's fighting a lower level party. It's kind of what I would do, I think. Maybe it's just kind of left up to the GM. We do have some lore to read down here, but I want to draw attention to something. The Widow is a medium fiend, so she's a shapeshifter, right? And she speaks both abyssal and infernal, which is kind of interesting because usually those things don't really mix. Demons and devils, they don't get along. So it's interesting that she can speak both of those. So she's a fiend, right? I think in the 5e rules state that both demons and devils are fiends, I think, if I remember correctly. So that's really interesting. It makes you wonder what she is actually. Like, she's a medium fiend, but what kind of fiend? She's a shapeshifter. Where does she come from? Does she come from the abyss? Does she come from the hells or from somewhere else? Very interesting. All right, let's read the lore. Long ago, a celestial named Seraphel, a being of silver light and compassion, descended from the heavens to heal a dying forest corrupted by war. Among the mortals who aided him was an old herbalist woman named Mera. As seasons passed, Mera and Seraphel grew close, two caretakers bound by their love for the living world. But when villagers discovered Seraphel's divine nature, they feared he would bring celestial judgment upon them. In a storm of panic and zeal, they struck him down, tearing his silver wings from his body. Mera, broken by grief, begged the heavens to restore him. When her prayers went unanswered, she turned her cries to the darkness beneath the earth. Something answered. The pact she made was simple: bring him back. But the fiends twisted her wish. They restored his wings, not his soul, and grafted their essence into her flesh. Her tears became venom, her hair turned to silk, her body became a vessel of shadow. Now she wanders the haunted woods where Seraphel fell, shrouded beneath a hooded cloak, her silver-tipped cane marking the spot where his wings were buried. She whispers to travelers with the same tender voice she once used to heal, then drains their memories to fill the void where her love once lived. Oh, that's very metal. So she actually isn't an abyssal or a devil. Like, she's not a fiend or a demon. She just made a pact with something powerful, a fiendish power. She may not have even known what it was, but she does speak both those languages. Very cool, Hylian sword. I really like it. Very creepy. I love that it has like some of these mind control things, because that's a really fun mechanic, and that would make it a lot more powerful. And then, you could have it to where, like, if she's fighting a higher level group, you could make it to where every round she spawns a number of spiderkin equal to how difficult you think it'll be for her to contend with the group you're fighting. So, like, that could be a fun thing. All right, boom, love it. Let's move on to the next one. Now, real quick, I want to take a brief break and let you know that the goal of our channel is to empower game masters to run better games. So I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up button, which offers us a ton of support. And I want to give a big shout out to everyone who likes, thumbs up, subscribes, comments on my videos. This really means a lot to me and helps me to grow the channel. Speaking of which, I am right now undergoing a process of trying to grow this channel, make it bigger, make it better, turn it into a company that is designed to do even bigger and better things in the realm of empowering game masters to run better games, and just to further the cause of this amazing hobby, TTRPGs, that we all love so much. With that being said, I want to offer you a couple things. Number one, you can get my free ebook, 10-Minute GM Mastery Toolkit. This is an ebook that packs 20 plus years of game running knowledge into the top 10 tips, a 10-minute read to help you boost your next session, literally with a 10-minute read. If you want to utilize my time-tested wisdom, the best things I've learned running games, and just leverage them into your next session, this ebook is the way to go. First step to making your games even better. You can download this for free. Links in the description. I'd encourage you to do that. Secondly, I have recently published the best ebook, most important ebook I've ever written on the topic of TTRPGs and running awesome games. It is called The Advanced Art of TTRPG Game Mastery. This is a 50-page ebook that documents my skills, tactics, insights, philosophies, the methods I use, and the methodologies I think about to create a game that's truly transcendent, using emotional resonance to get your players really hooked into your game, to get them on the edge of their seat so that they will be dying to come back next week. Can't wait to see what comes next. If you want to take your players from disengaged to fully engaged, engrossed, where they really care about the story and the characters and the plot, then this book is going to absolutely tell you all of my secrets. It's probably the most important thing I've ever written for TTRPGs, and I believe it's going to go down in history as one of the most important things ever written for game masters, because I don't really hear this concept of transcendent gaming and emotional resonance gaming talked about quite enough. These are skills that can help any game master. So it's available right now for a low introductory price. If you purchase this today, not only will you be getting it at a great price, price because it's a new product, you'll also be helping to support this channel and our mission of empowering game masters run better games. So I just want to thank you in advance for that. A link to that is in the description as well. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, so next we have The Ventriloquist by John Haney. Shout out to John Haney, who is actually our lead Discord moderator and council leader, basically the person who is in charge of our Discord. Now, I don't know if John used any digital help for this. This might be completely hand-drawn. John is known for his hand-drawn entries, so this actually might be, he might have even, I mean, this looks handwritten, and then this looks really hand-designed. It's got this has a super, like, I would say almost like retro horror kind of vibe to it that I think is really cool. Okay, let's dive into it and read. The Ventriloquist by John Haney. The true origins of the entity known as the ventriloquist have been lost to time, but scholars of apparitions and poltergeists generally agree on three things. First, while it can effortlessly move or even duplicate its soul essence into a new host, its options seem to be limited to inanimate objects shaped like a humanoid. Oh, okay. Hence the ventriloquist. Second, the only known way to truly eliminate a ventriloquist is to isolate it from all potential new hosts, and then sever and burn the head. Third, the ventriloquist feeds on adrenaline and fear. Thus, it has become extremely adept at using its abilities to create fear in humanoids to harvest. Oh, nice. That's awesome. The ventriloquist prefers to create fear to lone people because they are more likely to question their senses and lack the companionship to regulate emotions, but they have been known to frighten groups as well. They thrive in toy shops, but often use graveyard statues and scarecrows as well. Interesting. Okay. They prefer mystery and escape, but will multiply and attack if threatened. Oh, so they're trying to scare you to like eat, basically, but sometimes they'll fight. So it's one of those things. You know, this kind of reminds me of Annabelle, right? The movie is Annabelle. All right. Jump scare first. Time, seeing, hearing, make a D18, heck, disadvantage. 3d4 rounds of fail, half of success. All ventriloquists gain advantage. Okay. Throne voice. As free action, once per round, move or duplicate soul to host within sight. Oh, okay. And then SP 30, A 20, HP 22. I believe these are actually Shadow Dark. I think this is actually designed for Shadow Dark, not for D&D, so that's why it's a little bit different, I think. Attack, +5. Unarmed, 1d4 +3. Improvised weapon, 1d6 +3. Okay. Strength 0. Intelligence 0. Dex 3. Wisdom 3. Con 0, Charisma 3. Okay, interesting. So I don't really know much about Shadow Dark system. I've never played Shadow Dark. However, this does seem to me to be kind of a lower level enemy. It doesn't seem like this creature would be incredibly dangerous if the party is beginning to move to higher levels. But it doesn't sound like the goal of this creature also is to wipe out the party. It sounds like the goal is to kind of jump scare, get them scared, and maybe hang out for a round or two and then bounce. And it sounds like what this actually is kind of like a spirit that just inhabits things. So the idea would be that it would probably be very difficult to actually capture it or something. It's probably really good at getting away. Hence, it can get what it wants, and it gets away, and maybe it kind of harasses the party. If it realizes they're a good group to feed on, it might stalk them, harass them, and then maybe even it would draw others of its kind to them. Like, I'm kind of thinking, so you could end up with like a swarm situation if you don't take care of it. But then since it just jumps out and scares you and then runs away, it would be kind of difficult because, you may not get your wits about you, make a plan to be able to capture it. And then you might think, okay, well, we're done. But then it comes back later and you don't realize that maybe next time it comes back, there's 2 of them. The next time it comes back, there's 4 of them, because they keep they're drawn to this. Oh, look, they're succeeding at feeding. Let's all do it. This group is like ripe for feeding. So before you know it, it actually does become a dangerous situation. I think that's how I'd run it. Very, very cool. Awesome entry, John Haney, as usual. Love it. We also cannot forget to check out Flana-Gamer's artwork for this one, the ventriloquist. Oh my god. It's like an Alice in Wonderland meets like bad Pinocchio. This is so bad. I love it. Really nicely done. Very nicely done. Love the hand-drawn artwork. Flana-Gamer. I love these hand-drawn pieces of artwork. I have zero artistic talent, so I admire people who can draw good. John Haney can draw real good. Flana-Gamer can obviously draw good. Love it. Thank you for drawing these images. This really made the contest fun, and it's fun to see them along with the contest entries. Next up, we have Wereburus by Herminator. Great to see your entry, Herminator. Herminator is awesome, has been in the community for such a long time. Super, it's always super fun to see their entries, and I am excited to look at this. So, Wereburus, medium undead, chaotic evil. Oh, heck yeah, love undead. I'm really in an undead vibe right now. AC 15, initiative +2, HP 110, speed 30 feet or 40 feet, wolf form only. Oh, heck yeah. So we have strength 18, dex 14, con 16, intelligence 10, wisdom 12, charisma 12. Nice. Okay. Skills, athletics 7, perception 7, stealth 5, survival 7. Immunities, fire. Ooh, immune to fire? An undead who's immune to fire. Necrotic, blinded, exhausted, frightened, stunned. Senses, dark vision 60 feet, passive perception 14. Languages, common. Okay, CR 6, proficiency bonus 3. All right, let's get into it. Aggressive. These are the traits. Aggressive. As a bonus action, the Wereburus can move up to its speed toward a hostile creature it can see. Oh, with that being said, let's take a quick look at the artwork because Flannan Gamer also designed artwork for this. Oh my god, this is so crazy. Three-headed wolf dog. Undead wolf dog with an axe. Looks like a werewolf with 3 heads. Isn't that Cerberus? Isn't that? Oh, that's what it is. Cerberus. Isn't Cerberus the 3-headed wolf who guards hell in like mythology? So if I'm not mistaken, maybe this is a callback to that. This actually might be a callback to that. I see. Okay. And here we go. Yeah, multi-headed. The Wereburus can't be surprised and has advantage on saving throws against being knocked unconscious. Nice. Pack tactics. The Wereburus has advantage on an attack roll against a creature if it has at least one of the Wereburus' allies within 5 feet of the creature and the ally isn't incapacitated. Okay, nice. Powerful build, humanoid form only. The Wereburus counts as one size larger when determining its carrying capacity and the weight it can push, drag, or lift. Is it going to drag him to the underworld? Actions, multi-attack. The Wereburus makes 3 melee attacks. Bite, wolf or hybrid form only. Melee attack roll 7, 5-foot hit, 2d12 plus 4, piercing damage. If the target is a humanoid, it is subjected to the following effects. Constitution saving throw, DC 15. On failure, the target is cursed with werewolf-like lycanthropy. Yeah, there we go, lycanthropy. As described in the monster manual. Success, the target is immune to this Wereburus' curse for 24 hours. Don't want to turn into a werewolf, very complicated. I had an NPC who was a werewolf one time, got very complicated. Rend, wolf or hybrid form only. Melee attack roll 7, reach 5 feet, hit 13, 2d8 plus 4, slashing damage. Great Axe, humanoid or hybrid form only. Melee attack roll 7, reach 5 feet, hit 1d12 plus 6, slashing damage. All right, bonus actions, dash, see trait aggressive. As a bonus action, the Wereburus can move up to its speed toward a hostile creature. Oh, I see. Okay, so that can be used as a bonus action. Shapeshift. The Wereburus shapeshifts into a large wolf humanoid hybrid, or into a large wolf, or back into its humanoid form. Its statistics, other than its size, are the same in each form. Nice. Origins and lore. A cloaked man approaches you on the road, seemingly muttering to himself. Strangely, the mutterings can be heard as different voices, 3 in total. When angered, he tears his cloak off as he transforms into a hideous 3-headed wolf hybrid. The monster charges you, snarling and snapping with its 3 wolf heads. It's actually super cool. Really like it. I could totally imagine this being an encounter you could run. Like the group's out on a dark road at night, and you're thinking to yourself, it's time for something to happen, but what? And then you whip this out, and there's an old man walking by muttering. And I like how it's like the mutterings strangely can be heard in like as 3 different voices. That's very creepy because it's just an old man muttering. It's like, what is going on? But then you hear the 3 voices and it's like, what's going on? Like a little scary. I like it. Very well done, Herminator. Super cool entry. Thank you so much. Hey, real quick, I want to let you know that I'm actually recruiting for my next game right now. I'm running a game on Start Playing. Anyone can join. It is called The Darkest Dawn. It is a gritty, grimdark D&D 5e sandbox game, going from levels 1 to 20. It's still very new. Still looking for 2 more players for this game as of right now, maximum of 6, and then it'll be fully booked up until I launch my next one. But if you are interested in gaming with me, the GM Philosopher, this is your best opportunity. Link to that is in the description. You're going to want to check that out and maybe join us. We would love to have you if the game sounds like something you'd be interested in. If you like grimdark, gritty fantasy, 5e D&D, and sandboxy open worldness, you're going to love it. It is going to be right up your alley. Another thing I want to let you know of is that we publish videos every single day here on GM Philosophy, and you can watch our videos in advance by becoming a member of the channel. Signing up is very easy. You'll find a link in the description. Become a channel supporter. Help to support as we grow the channel and further our goals of empowering game masters to run better games, plus get early access to videos. Basically, as soon as I upload them, you'll be able to watch them instead of when they're scheduled. So you might be able to watch videos days reviews before anyone else. Leave comments. Let everyone know what you think. Let me know what you think. And community supporters on the YouTube channel are so highly valued because they help us to support the awesome work we do here. And hopefully getting early access to those videos is fun because sometimes I release some spicy topics and you'll get to get in there and see what's going on before anyone else. So that's kind of a fun thing. So make sure you check that out. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, now we have Bismarck von Rubles by Doug Dingle. Okay, so Doug Dingle's always creating zany, kind of interesting, weird stuff. And so this definitely looks zany and weird. Let's get into it. AC 10, HP unknown, charisma 18, strength 8, dex 6, wisdom 15, intelligence 13, con 10. Okay, looks like a dude in a suit at first glance. I'm wondering if this is like a, you know, a public domain image or something, or if Doug Dingle drew this. Very cool, actually. It looks hand drawn to me, but anyway, very cool. Born to an extremely wealthy family, Bismarck was a precocious boy who showed signs of acute business acumen almost immediately. One thing about Doug Dingle is that his writing is always really good. It always kind of draws you in right away. Using the immense generational wealth of the von Rubles financial portfolio, he was quick to carve his name out as a ruthless and shrewd entrepreneur as he entered adulthood. Bismarck travels from town to town, city to city, in his 3-carriage-long and 8-horse-drawn Bismobile. Dude is straight up like a financial product salesperson, and this is a real-life monster. Watch out. He's going to knock on your door next. Once he arrives, he swiftly identifies the poorest area, buys the properties, and tears them down to build high-end apartments or commerce centers. Ooh, on a side note, I love running like broken down apartments in D&D games. I feel like in a fantasy setting, having kind of like almost like a slum, you know, I almost like, you know, so you have those rough apartments where the people live who can't afford to live anywhere else. Like, I think that is an interesting thing to bring into D&D games because I think that introduces sort of like a like poverty-stricken district, kind of dangerous urban area. I think that I haven't seen that happen very much in D&D games or in the fantasy setting in general. Usually it's more like, oh, they live in a little hut outside of town, but it's like, why not have like low income housing in the city and then explore the complexities of what that means for that like area and for the people living there, and like, what is life like? You know, these people who are, you know, working, maybe subsisting on poverty wages, what is their life like in the city? I think that this is actually a really interesting and kind of morally, almost like morally and socially and culturally complex thing to bring into games. Drop a comment. Let me know if you have any thoughts about that. I don't see that go on very often in the fantasy like tropes, but I don't know why it doesn't. And I think it's interesting. Anyway, it sounds like this guy, though, this is his speciality. Once he arrives, he swiftly identifies the poorest area, buys properties, and tears them down to build high-end apartments or commerce centers, leaving a wake of peasant families marked for imminent death. Whoa, what? That escalated quick. I thought they were just going to get kicked out. If the deal is opposed in any way, Bismarck uses mercenary groups to clear out the area, or hires hoodlums to create unsavory atmospheres in order to pressure local government. At the end of the day, Bismarck von Rubles gets what he wants, regardless of how many people, community teen centers, or institutions he must step on to get it. Some call him a monster, but they're probably just poor. Oh my god. Well, what a monster. Kind of like a, you know, like a thug king, kind of like the penguin, right, is kind of what we're looking at here. Very cool. This would make a really cool side quest arc. Like, you know, someone comes by the apartments and there's a mother with her 7 children. The father died in the war and they're crying because they're literally being evicted, and if they try to stand up to it at all, they're in grave danger. And like, are the players gonna have sympathy? Are they gonna try to help her? She gives them the name Bismarck von Rubles, says he's tearing all this down. We don't know where we're gonna go. We're probably gonna end up needing to, you know, I mean, we're probably gonna die. We're probably gonna be out on the street, probably not gonna have anything to eat. What are we gonna do? You know, it's like, so that could be an interesting arc to throw in. Love it. Doug Dingle, as usual, very cool entry. All right, next we have The Void by Kevin Rigatoni. This says, The Void, a Kevin Rigatoni yarn. Dear adventurer, you have chosen to wander through the woad of quiddity. Your destination, your inspiration, your joys and your sorrows, they are your own. Whatever wisdom or folly has led you here is of no consequence. This is weird. What's going on here? A parchment blows across the path and settles at your feet. At once, it seems to scream of its own importance in a siren song you cannot hear, but rather feel in your marrow a while. In your marrow while, at the same time, It feels on the verge of collapsing into dust, or less. You reach for it. When it is in your grasp, your eyes threaten you with deception. Is there anything in your hand at all? Your senses falter. The ground feels unworthy of your trust, and the air feels as though it blows through you. Your very substance feels insubstantial. Temporal vertigo strikes as your life's moments collapse into the core of your being, and then you read. Thwart the canyon of the spirit travels thither, mayhap. Anon, thou search, anon, thou find void instead thy promised place, thy promised peace gone wanting. Forsooth, I do delight in thy surprise, fain am I, quondam fullness fleeting. Void hungers, surrounds, becomes, dust a prize too rich, whispers a much too raffish plume. For nothing is thy lot, yonward lies the void, yonward lies thy silent end. Man, what is going on here? I don't even know what's going on here. This is very interesting. I'm going to keep reading. There's just a little bit left. You take a breath and notice your essence wanes. You are beset by the stark grip of nothing. The void has you. You feel, just as feeling itself goes from ethereal to oblivion in your mind. Your consciousness becomes pure ignorance. The parchment phases out of existence. The earth sublimes beneath you. The void groans in utter stillness. Your silent end approaches. Roll Constitution. And that's it. Oh my God. What the heck just happened? So this is like an encounter. Like this is what you read to start an encounter, and then it just leaves it up to the game master, I guess. So what we have here from Kevin Rigatoni is very unique and creative. Kevin decided, it seems, this is my take on it, to focus on the encounter, on the feelings, on the magic surrounding that, right? And has basically introduced what meeting this monster feels like, and then has left everything else out. There's no stat block, there's no image of the monster, right? Everything else is left up to the GM. What we have here, though, is the experience of the encounter, which I think is actually very artistic. I have to say, this is a very unorthodox, very artistic concept for a monster creation contest, and I like it. I really like it. I like this poem. Like this is sort of poetic, right? This has to have been handwritten. Obviously it was against the rules to use AI generated content. It's hard to police, but I'm going to tell you what, as someone who uses AI a lot for work and for many other things, who reads a lot of AI script every day, I'm going to tell you what, I see a lot of evidence here that none of this was AI generated. I think that this is human created. And I think that's very creative. I think that it's very artistic, and I'm very impressed. Kevin Rigatoni, very, very ominous and sort of scary entry. Love this. I could totally see taking this and with a few liberties, weaving this into an encounter and then making that like a plot arc for a character. Love this. Super awesome. I give it a 10 out of 10. All right, next we have The Millie Tree by Flana-Gamer. Flana-Gamer is the one who's been making these drawings for some of these entries. Very cool, and this is their entry. They say if you eat the fruit of the Millie Tree, you become immortal. How do you find one, though? Tucked away in a dark forest full of dead trees lies the Mill Tree. It's the last living tree of the woods. There are no animals, no other plant life, and no color, save on the Mill Tree, or Millie Tree. I think it's Mill Tree. When you enter the woods, the air will smell honey sweet. If you go deeper, you'll hear children laughing, leading you to the Mill Tree. If you pick a mask off the ground or from a hanging branch, the tree will add another fruit to its branches. Oh, that got weird quick. Why are there masks around the Mill Tree? All right, let's read on. Mill Tree, huge plant, chaotic evil. Oh, okay. Armor class 16, hit points 138, speed 30. That tree has a speed. Oh my god. Initiative 3. Strength 23, that's what I'm talking about. Dex 8, Con 21, Intelligence 12, Wisdom 16, Charisma 12. Saving throws, Strength 6, Dex 1, Con 5, Intelligence 1, Wisdom 3, Charisma 1. Vulnerabilities, Fire, that checks out. Damage resistance, Bludgeoning, Piercing, checks out because it's got Bark. Senses, Passive Perception 13. Languages, Common, Abyssal, Elvish, Sylvan. Challenge 9. Habitat, Dead Forest. Treasure, Fruit of Life. Raise con by +2 and increase player character lifespan by 1,000 years. Whoa, nice. So it sounds like it's got this awesome fruit, but then when people come to get it, it tries to kill them. Siege monster. The mill tree deals double damage to objects and structures. Oh, interesting. Okay, actions. Multi-attack. The treant makes 2 slam attacks. Slam. Melee weapon attack, +10 to hit, reach 5 feet, 1 target, hit, 3d6 +6 bludgeoning damage. Hail of Bark, ranged weapon attack, +10 to hit, reach 18 feet, 1 target, hit 4d10 +6 piercing damage. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Animate fruit. What? Once per day. The mill tree magically animates up to 2 fruits from its branches. Each fruit uses the mill tree stat block. What? Except it has intelligence and charisma scores of 1. It can't speak, and it lacks this action. The fruit takes its turn immediately after the mill tree on the same initiative count, and it obeys the mill tree. If fruit remains animate for 1 day or until it dies, the mill tree dies, or it is more than 120 feet from the mill tree. Oh, I see. Okay. So wait a minute. The fruit takes its turn. Wait a minute. Each fruit uses the mill tree's stat block. Does that mean it has an armor class of 16, has a strength of 23? So the fruits spawn into trees like immediately? That's crazy. That's super crazy. But I think that's what it means, because otherwise it wouldn't really check out. Like, are the fruits just going to roll around and roll into you with a 23 strength to deal, 3d6 bludgeoning damage? I think they grow into trees, man. So it lures you in with the promise of 1,000-year extra lifespan, and then it just goes to absolute town on you when you get close, because you're not expecting it. You just think it's a tree, and then before you know it, 2 fruits spawn into trees, and they're trying to corner you and beat you to death. I actually like that. Very, very cool, Flandin Gamer. Super, super cool entry. I could totally see this being run in a forest setting. Obviously, adventures usually lead to the forest at some point, and there could be rumors about the mill tree. So boom, love it. Great, well done. And for our final entry, we have the Spine Leech by Dirty Socks. Dirty Socks is always turning in awesome entries, and we have artwork for this. Looks like hand-drawn artwork. Very, very cool. But Flandin Gamer also drew artwork. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. Okay, so it was a little bit colorful. Here we got the level 1 Larval Creeper, level 2 Symbiotic Parasite, level 3 Dominator. Okay, that Dominator looks a heck of a lot like the Hunters from Halo. That's pretty cool. I like that, actually. So it's sort of like a cross already. Right now, it's striking me as a cross between like Alien and then the Hunters from Halo. Very, very cool. All right, let's get back into this. So what are we looking at here? The Spine Leech, tiny aberration, larval, small, medium, infested, neutral, evil. Okay. Overview. The Spine Leech is a parasitic creature that infiltrates living hosts and fuses with their spinal column. It doesn't sound good. I don't want that. Starting as a finger-sized worm with small tentacles, it paralyzes its prey to prevent it from fleeing its grasp. What? It can paralyze them as a little worm? After the humanoid creature has been neutralized, it penetrates their skin, moving deeper and deeper into the host's body, and eventually settles into the vertebrae and slowly takes control of the body. Uh-oh, this is a zombie situation. This is a Last of Us situation, although it's larva instead of the mushrooms. After it enters the body, it gains temporary regeneration, healing, and puncture wound where it entered the body. Over 3 stages, the parasite grows from tiny worm to a medium-sized monstrosity, with spines growing more horrific until they erupt from the host's back as battered crystalline weapons. Eventually reshaping the victim into a living war beast. Okay, this is so far very cool. The leech life cycle lasts about a year per host. After complete integration with the host, the body functions at peak performance until it rots beyond use. The parasitic creature then abandons the husk and restarts the cycle from tiny infiltrating parasite to full-grown monstrosity. This is very cool. I love things like this. Things that, like, at first they're like a little thing and then they don't pose much of a risk, but let them sit for a while and they become very dangerous. But this thing paralyzes you right away. All right. Life cycle and stages. Stage 1, larval creeper, infiltrator. Form, tiny worm-like creature, pale and battered, with a circular mouth equipped with small tentacles. Small, chitinous, most important substance, which forms exoskeleton with insects. Spines run its back. Behavior, lurks in shadows, strikes vulnerable prey with a paralytic bite, then attempts to get literally under the skin of the potential host. So lurks in shadows, like you pick up a rock, wham, you get bit on the finger, then you fall over and you lay there helpless as it worms its way under your skin. That is horrible. That's terrible. Fragile if discovered. When it enters the body to prevent discovery, it regains temporary regeneration, healing the puncture wound. Oh, so it heals the wound after it goes in. That's unnecessary. Unnecessary. Abilities: paralysis. Infiltration attempt has low HP. Okay. Stage 2, symbiotic parasite merging. Form: the parasite is now fused to the host's spine. Spines begin pushing outward through the flesh along the host's back and shoulders, glowing with faint light. Behavior: grants the host increased physical ability, often mistaken as a blessing. Oh, so the person gets paralyzed, then they become unparalyzed, and they're like, I feel awesome. I feel better than ever. Wow. Oh, that's very interesting. So it's like maybe a way for them to think that they're fine and they don't bother to go spend all the money for a healer or something. Over weeks, though, it erodes the host's will, slowly seizing control. Hosts may try to conceal the ridges and protrusions. This is like a District 9 thing going on. Pretty metal. Abilities: host enhancement. Passive: gain +1 to AC defenses, gains plus 10 foot movement, resistance to psychic and physical damage. Ooh, wow. Advantage on strength dex saves. Spinal barrage. Fires battered spines outward as projectiles. That would become noticeable. So you would know something's going on if you learn you just have the ability to shoot spines out of your back. Symbiotic surge, temporary combat boost at the cost of exhaustion. Interesting. Stage 3, dominator, spined horror. Form: fully integrated with the host's spine. Battered crystalline outgrowth bristles along the back, shoulders, and limbs, forming a living carapace, like an insect exoskeleton combined with long porcupine needles. Flesh is torn where spines force their way out. Behavior: the parasite now has full control. The host's body is at its peak, unnaturally fast and strong, but rotting inside. For 1 year, it functions as a perfect puppet before collapsing into a husk. Okay, gotcha. Abilities: living carapace +3 AC, spines, damage, grapplers, strikers, spine volley, nice. Recharge 4, 5, or 6, fires a storm of spines. If multiple hit one target, they detonate inside, dealing bonus necrotic psychic damage. What the heck? Psychic damage from the spines? Spinal whip? Oh my god. Extends spines as lashing tentacles reach 10 feet. That's frightening. Regeneration: recovers HP each turn while attached to host. Ecology and behavior. Habitat: dungeons, ruins, caves, favors dark and moist environments. Makes sense. Spread: can infect animals but prefers humanoid creatures due to their long lifespan. Only chooses animals when in danger to increase his chance for survival. That's cool. Symbiosis: at first seductive, host feels stronger and more alert, but free will fades slowly over time, replaced by whispers in the mind. That would be fun to roleplay out. It's like a madness thing. Life cycle: after 1 year of control, the host becomes exhausted. The parasite shrinks into its larval form to crawl away and find a new victim. If they control a humanoid with extensive intelligence, it will secure a new host before collapse. Adventure hooks: the Whispering Captain. A once beloved guard captain has become stronger yet colder. Strange ridges bristle beneath his armor. He's nearing stage 3. Oh god. The Year of Ashes. An entire village is in stage 2 infestation. In weeks, the bodies will fail, releasing dozens of larvae at once. Ooh, it's a swarm. False salvation. A scholar claims the parasite is a gift and has willingly bonded with the creature, unknowingly on the path to stage 3 domination. This is actually really cool. In play, stage 1 horror moment. PCs fight a tiny parasite trying to get inside. Stage 2, suspicion and paranoia. Any NPC could be hiding spines beneath clothes. Hosts infested fight harder and faster than normal. So the infestation situation could be a whole arc. And so there's a mystery of who's infected, who's not, like in the zombie apocalypse, who's been bitten, right? Stage 3, horror overdrive. Monster boss battle, covered in battered crystalline spines, hurling volleys of bone shards while regenerating from his wounds. So maybe if they get big enough, they cooperate together and they try to take over entire towns using their monster form to break through the gates and stuff. Super awesome. Dirty Socks. Very nice. Nicely done. Love this. Still reminds me of the the hunters from Halo. Very, very cool. All right, so just to do a quick recap here, these were the entries to the Monster Content Creation Contest run in the GM Philosophy Discord. As I said, links in the description. You can join us. It's free, and you can jump into these contests. I'm not sure what the next one's going to be, but every month we run one. So if you want to come in and grab some cool, awesome stuff to run in your game, well, you can grab these PDFs in the contest archives section of our Discord. You can also find all kinds of stuff that's been made there before. And if you want to take part in a contest and create awesome stuff like this and compete and maybe get your stuff shouted out on my YouTube channel, well, join us. We'd love to have you. And then just watch for the announcements for the upcoming contest, and boom, you can jump in and take part in it with us. Thank you so much for coming back for another episode of GM Philosophy in the Morning. Empowering game masters to run better games is the goal of this channel. So hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button. I'll see you awesome people on the next one.